Okay, so it is now day 204 of our 1000 Dawns, and I have got some news I wanted to be able to share with you guys. And it's a very, very important chronology. Well, a very important moment in my life has come about once again. So, over the last couple of days, with everything that's happened to me, which includes, but not limited to, an event that happened 3 days ago in which I was nearly killed in an RTC. But here's the thing: talking about what happened over the last couple of days is not quite telling the full story, because I'm talking about events that have happened over the last, I want to say, 10 years. In theory, it could go just as far beyond that. It could go maybe even so far as 15 and a half years ago. Let's just say that number, 15 and a half. So the story for this really begins as far back as 2011, which seems so far away, but actually for the present purpose, we may as well still be in it right now. But basically, all you need to know at this stage is that all the stress, all the pressure, every single thing that happened, it finally exploded. And I have to say, but here's the thing: it exploded in the single greatest way you might imagine. Because I was at the gym literally 5 minutes after I woke up at about 1:30 this afternoon. I was on night shift again last night, and I didn't get home until about 7:15 in the morning. So, yeah, nice long sleep, straight to the gym, and it was as though it was just lying in waiting. And then all of a sudden, bang. I was at the gym for about 90 minutes, and I think I managed to do more and to unleash some pent-up rage that had been stewing in my body for years, and everything just came to a head. And I don't even think I've even used up all the rage that I have stored in my body. I feel like there's still quite a bit of it left to go. But I think conserving a little bit of rage inside me is just the sort of thing to make me think, you know what, I'm going to go back again tomorrow and we're going to do exactly as we did before. That might just be what it might take, because, and let me just make this plain as day, if I absolutely have to, I was literally, I could almost feel like my very veins beginning to throb and boil. I was just like my head was ready to explode. But you may be asking to yourself, well, what has brought all this on? Why am I so angry? What on earth could it have taken for me to feel as if, well, it was either release the valve or the entire boiler would have blown up? What is it that how did this happen? Or rather, how did I get this way? Because I have explained it before about how if people refer to me as stoic and very, level-headed, it is only because I am very stoic on the outside. On the inside, it is like a hornet on speed that is smashing its head against a window pane in the vain attempt that it can escape. This is why you heard of the old adage of you have to have a very thick skin sometimes in this world. Well, let me go one step further. You need to have a very thick skin on the outside, but you also have to have a very thick skin on the inside. Because preventing things from coming in or harming you from the outside is all well and good, but what about things from the inside that can harm you on the outside? People, it's a bit of an interesting thing with this, but in fairness, that's just sort of that's sort of how I have to go about it. And The only thing I have to add, just to bring everything to a close, is that it's all part of controlled aggression. Knowing when and where to choose your fights. And you may remember a few weeks ago I made a video specifically titled about fighting for my rights. Well, it's usually very common in these sorts of moments in my life that whenever I feel like something has to be unleashed, something has to give, it's very, very la mode, so to speak, that I do something that I never believed I was ever going to do before, but I simply had no other choice. Because with that level of, like, I don't know, courage, I don't know if it's courage or bravery, or the simple fact of deciding to do something, it's probably that one, I straight up did it. And now is hardly the time for being afraid or being stagnant, because as we're entering the second part of this 1000 Dawns adventure, you're going to start to notice a pattern about, well, we go from emerging to running with it. And running means not being afraid. Running means about making a determined effort to get somewhere. Running means you stop walking and you start running. Running is running. And we're not running scared. We're not running like cowards. We are running like men do. With courage, with bravery. I think that's about it. I thought I had something to finish that off with, but no. But yeah. This is, we're entering very interesting times in my life once again. And I feel like things are going to get much more interesting before long. Thank you.